So now example number 2, it says writing a conditional statement. So now let's do this with geometry. Remember, everything's proven logically. So it says, how can you write the following statement as a conditional statement? So the statement is vertical angles share a vertex. And let's review the geometry of that a little bit. Okay, when I have two straight lines and they cross each other, these are known as vertical angles. So this would be angle 1, and this would be angle 2. And they share a vertex right here. You have to prove that. I mean, clearly we can look at the picture and we know that, but somehow at some point in time we have to prove that. You can. We're not going to do the proof today. We're just going to learn about how we might prove that. So now, how do I break that up? How do I write my P statement? And then how do I write my Q statement, remembering that it's a conditional statement? In other words, if P is true, then Q is true. Yes.
If the angles are vertical.
Okay, so we write it as a statement first. So we would say the
angles are
vertical. The angles are vertical. Yeah, that's a better way. The angles are vertical. Okay, now what's the next one?
They share a vertex.
Just to be a little more formal, we would say the angles share a vertex. Because we can omit a word here and there, but we want our statements, our original statements, we want them to kind of be grammatically correct, right? And to be a little more formal, we would try to avoid certain pronouns. What does they represent? Does it represent angles? Does they represent lines? Does it represent a two-dimensional shape? Does it represent a three-dimensional shape, a plane? So it's important that we say the angles share. I should probably spell it correctly. The angles share a vertex. Okay? So now when I write the conditional statement, P implies Q, I can omit a word or two. And from a sentence structure point of view, it's implied that we're talking about angles and angles alone. Does that make sense? So the statements need to be able to stand alone by themselves, but when we put them together as a conditional statement, we'll know that we're talking about angles. So now what I would say is what? Yes?
If the angles are vertical, then they share a vertex.
Very good. If the angles are vertical, that's not venticle, it's vertical. And it's with a. Why did I write it like, oh, because I misspelled it. If the angles are vertical, then they say now the pronoun they refers to angles, then they share a vertex. Okay? Does that make sense to you guys? Cool. So now the next thing that we're going to talk about, so this was example number 2.